Hello guys, welcome back to Logical as always, and today we're going to continue on. So we left off just as we finished Rome. We killed the yes, that's right, we killed the Undying King and whatnot, so we did. And we picked up a few weapons, so we did. Yeah, so we're going to do today is we're just going to continue on courses and keep a move on really. We don't really have much in terms to spend. In fairness, we are going to get new gear here in a second, so we are. We've got a little bit of galvanized. Got plenty of those, and only 2 simulacrums. So that's gonna be a bit of fun. Let's go to courses and get ourselves a fancy new weapon, shall we? Right, so this is possibly the one of the most dangerous areas in the game because courses just it's not very nice when these dogs are overkill, so they are. Basically the enemies in this area are durable, fast, and well, dig underground. So not exactly the funnest thing to deal with. So they're not. And then there's also these as well. Right, so what makes Courses funny is the fact that it has 2 world bosses that you're guaranteed to fight. I'm not sure how much the actual Swamps and Courses DLC actually affected the campaign of Courses. Well, we're going to find that out here in a second. It might only affect the adventure mode. I'm not 100% sure on that. Just to be very clear, I'm not 100% sure on that. So I'm not. But yeah, let's just sort of make our way through here and see what the situation is. Because Courses is one of the more dangerous areas in the game. But what makes it funny is the fact that, as I said earlier, it does have 2 world bosses, but you're going to fight both world bosses in Courses. Whereas in the previous areas, the world boss was you had one world boss and it was RNG to whether or not you got one of the two. This here, however, is completely different. So it is you're going to fight one and then you're going to fight the other. Primarily because the other one is rather difficult. I think it came up second in the difficulty meter, so it did. I know. Was it the no? It had to be. It had to be the big fucking insects. By it had to be the insects. Had to be the most difficult, like, because they are just no. I think I must have stuck on them for a while. I think it was actually, I think whenever I first originally beat them, it was actually Hot Shots Beam Rifle too. So it was, I think it was actually the combination of Hot Shots and Beam Rifle. But we're going to be making, depending if we can get the exact one I want, we might be making a small modification to our build, but that'll be later on. I don't know if I will or not though, because we're well kitted. Like there's not much that's gonna stand in our way now, and I'm pretty sure everybody already agrees with that. Like it will not take me long to mow down certain bosses anymore. But my defense is still lacking, so anytime there's going to get an opportunity to level up, I'll probably stick it into Bark Skin. I need the 2 of you to fuck off. Sometimes it is brutal. Right, there's a gate up there. So what is up north? Let's go see if there's a side dungeon we can look. At least we took a look at side dungeons. We'll at least go and have a nosy and see what we'll find. Depending on if the DLC has modified the campaign or not. Oh no, of course, no. What we find a simulacrum. Yeah, that's what we find. No, we find a simulacrum. Yes, that makes you dog, you thing that I'm about to put you in. I'm really showing that annoying me. That makes perfect sense. Yes, I decide to go. Ah, hello. I need you to die like now. Absolutely not. Those things, no. The one that's sort of a little bit more geared. What the fuck is this? Oh, right, okay. So, so fun little fact here. Um, I could have just killed. Well, so basically, whenever we were fighting the undead king, Undying King, sorry. We got the labyrinth key off him whenever we killed him, right? So he didn't act. We could have just straight up said no to him, killed him, got the labyrinth key, went into the labyrinth, then got here. But I decided to do it a little bit differently. I made him open the gate first of all, and then killed him. So it's just a little bit of a nice little bypass. It's a what's the word I'm looking for? A convenient circumstance is what I'm looking for there. Because funnily enough, I didn't actually know that was how that worked. Yeah, it's been a while since I've played this game. You can tell? Well, it's been a while since I've played this far into the game. So it has. Right. I can feel my damage dropping off again. Oh, it's not nice. This is what I mean. For as heavy geared as I am, the game still finds a way to make sure that it stays somewhat balanced. In fairness, a lot of the enemies in this area don't. A lot of the enemies in this area don't have weak points, which is what causes the wonky scaling, is how I would call it. Right, okay. As far as I also know, there's no like. This area is more very straightforward, so it is no real middle areas. Whenever the game came out, this was like the extension area, if that makes sense. It was like, it was only meant to be a speedy area. There wasn't meant to be much to it. And from the looks of it, I think we're going straight into World Boss. And indeed, I am correct. Nicknamed Shrek. That's his nickname. The nickname to this guy is Shrek. The Shack. He's also the guy that I want to kill for his weapon. Problem is we're not going to get the gear to make the weapon super powerful until after the boss fight. Not this boss fight, the second boss fight. So it's kind of one of those really sort of rough situations that you're in whenever it hits that point. But yeah, this guy's called Shrek. You can already hear the hammer going. I call him Fat Thor. Is your head? No, your head's not a weak point. What is your? Hang on, is your ass your weak point? Actually, your ass is your weak point. Oh my god! Well, that just makes this even funnier. So it does. Oh, you're getting very close, mate. Just you keep swinging there, mate. You are very persistent, mate. Unclean heart. That is the item I want. But it's the piece of gear that I need that buffs the weapon. I suppose we could still do it. Like it's oh well, it's got glutton. It's glutton do. Consumable use speed. That's actually not too bad to be fair. Consumable use speed would be very much obliged. Right. Oh, actually, I'm actually lying. There is actually a middle point. Find the beast in the swamp. Well, before I killed one beast, he's actually a world boss because you actually get a boss weapon from him. But we'll be dealing with that later once we get the actual armor set that we want to pair with it. But yeah, from the looks of it, it does actually sort of boil it down. So I'm actually not too sad about that. You'd have to go through the actual DLC in adventure mode, I think is the idea. Because from the I'm just looking at it here that yeah, the adventure mode would be a little bit different now. That's right, because there wasn't actually originally an adventure mode for it. Ah, yes. So yep. I get where I'm at now. Right, so now I'm remembering a little bit more than what I did. There wasn't originally an adventure mode for courses until they released the DLC for courses. Sound about right? Sounds about right. So yeah, so I'm assuming the campaign courses is still going to be somewhat limited. Limited. That's still a weird word in my mouth. It's still gonna be a weird. It's gonna be a little bit shorter than the other areas. Well, hypothetically speaking, it should be shorter, but that's sometimes never gonna be the case. Yeah, it's taking more balls to kill these guys than realistically should be the case, which is kind of missing me a little bit. Because again, my build is scaled for multi hit damage, like it's DPS damage. But for some reason, I'm not. Well, I suppose yeah, it's DPS. It's damage kind of. So it is. As long as you can shoot them in the head, I'm more or less golden. It's shooting them in the head because they know how to bob and weave is annoying. Right, I just need. Right, there's something downstairs that's not very happy with me.
Damn it.
So there is something downstairs that is not happy with me. I guess we go and see what's very pissed off. I need you to stop. Yeah, and I also need you to stop too. There's now something else much more pissed at me for some reason, and I don't know what it is. Oh, it's just one of these goobers. I'm a bomb. Okay, that's not good. Holy shit, the fucking fire rate on this thing. The fire rate just got an upgrade. Yep, so yeah. So this is the course's queen. And this is what the entire DLC is about, is this bitch right here. But
Greetings outside. Tell us, where do you
I hail from Earth.
The Iskal, our world course. I don't doubt the Iskal is lush and wealthy.
I'll get you the heart.
What
No, I
intrigue?
don't. I will not deceive you.
We
Let me
are
see your words. Let me
elated.
see what you actually have. Divine Nectar. Give me 3 of them. And you have a scythe for what? Did you not sell the crossbow though?
Return often, Gleaner.
Okay, right. How long have I got? I've got 18 minutes on them two. I've still got 2 left. So let's pop one of these. As you can probably tell, you can get a proper string of buffs going all together, and then basically, if you can get all, I think there's a crit damage one, a crit. No, it's not even a crit damage. It's a crit chance one. I think it gives you like 10% crit chance. So it does. You can get it in ROM. It's just we weren't lucky enough to get it as we were making our way through. I've also just realized that I'm going through this area without actually restocking my stuff. Well, ain't I just? So yeah, long story short, if you're looking to get the full idea of what Courses has, you're going to get the very sort of bare minimum with what I'm going to show you. So I would recommend that you get it yourself and get the DLC. Because I'll not be showing the full oh, no way, it's fucking 10-ton Tessie Hammer. Hello, Thor 3.0, how are you doing today? No. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes my damage still surprises me. Sometimes my damage still surprises me. And that was after me giving off about said damage. I need to get more thing though. More what you call it. If English was my strong suit, this would be fantastic. More galvanized iron. Right, so this is a mini dungeon with a boss at the end. They might have added the bosses to the campaign now that I think about it. I guess it's time we yeah, this is a DLC area. So that means it's one of 2 bosses. Needle Lair, no, I know what the boss is. So this is actually a boss that was added in the DLC. If you don't have the DLC, you will not get this boss. just to give you a very firm heads up, you'll not get this boss, so you won't. I think she's called like the Needle Queen or something. I can't 100% remember her name. But long story short, she's a big beefy, she's a big beefy queen and that. Difficulty can be difficult if you don't if you're not beefy enough, I think is the way to say that, because she would be very, very herself being a DPS kind of boss as well. She doesn't have. I think her melee attacks are white arcs, but her actual just sort of in general combat is basically her spitting needles out. All the different types of enemies in here too, which is kind of interesting. And I'm trying to think if there's any items that were added in the DLC that was added specifically to the biome of horses. Oh, that there's a mini version of it there, so it is. It's funny because there's always mini versions of the bosses. This is a mini version of the Needle Queen. You used to not. I had to go through ROM dealing with this shit, and I'm not going through this shit again, to be honest. That was just headache inducing. So it was. As I said, again, there's going to be very little that can stand in my way. As long as they have a weak point and I've got a monicum of crit, there's not much that they're going to be able to do against me. As long as they have a weak, and there's another mini boss. So this is yeah, it is actually also an enemy. How about you suck it? So that purple thing is an mini boss as well. Fun, yeah, I know. Only difference is he will, in the day, if you catch him, he will mess you up. If you don't know how to fight him or what he does, he will mess you up quicker than you will ever fucking believe. He is, I think he got rated as one of the most dangerous bosses in the DLC, simply just due to how his mechanics are. He is a ruthless boss. But if you don't have the DLC, you don't have to worry about it, guys. Okay, I can't pick that up apparently. Thank you, game. If you don't have the DLC, you don't need to worry. It's basically it's under the context of, do you have the DLC? Yes or no? Depending on that, there depends really how easy your courses is going to be. DLC makes courses more difficult, obviously. It's kind of a given. Abrasive amulet. Well, I guess we're gonna have a look see at that and see what that does after I get a little bit of breathing space. You again, you're invisible this time, you asshole. Yeah, and that's another thing. He also roll catches like a motherfucker too. Right, needle bitch, can you shut up? Right, can I get a breathing space so I can look at this amulet? There we go. Double application of corroded. Okay. Is there even a weapon that does corroded damage?
Oh, it's over.
Is there a weapon that does corrosion? I think it might only be a melee weapon that does corrosion. Right then, that's definitely a point I need to keep an eye out on. Oh, hell no. You just... The range of that stream, it should be illegal. Not trade point, more galvanized as well. Well, let's go kill the Needle Queen and see what mod she gives us. I think it's like Splinter Fire or something. I can't remember. Is it the Briar Queen she's called, or the Needle? I think it might be the Throne of Briars, or Barbed. Sorry, Barbed Queen, is it? Yeah, like I'm nearly. Yeah, you're a DLC Queen, but Barbed Care, Hardy. Of course you're Hardy. I'm not even surprised anymore. Yeah, you can definitely tell she's a DLC boss. You can definitely tell she's a DLC boss. Because if that was any other boss that got that done to them, they would have been dead. Like you just remember how quickly I put down the the Undying King. That's all I have to say there. Okay, I'm nearly sure that was I was going near that for sure. See that fucking hardy modifier by is an absolute bitch. But the fact that we're getting like double damage is ridiculous.
How's that, huh? You ain't so tough.
First turn kill, I'll take that. Like I says, we are running a stupidly strong DPS build. But no, I'm not too disappointed in that. I'm actually quite happy with the output that we've got there. But I do need to like upgrade a load of weapons to start. Because I'm still getting iron for some reason. Again, I don't know how the drops work. Yeah, even the wiki doesn't even know. Like whenever the wiki doesn't know, then you know. But I do know it's either something to do with traits or your weapons upgrade level. It's one of those two things that add to that effect. So it is. How long we got? We've got 8 minutes left of our drinks, and we've got our shortcut active. We should be able to make it to the main boss of this area before I require an upgrade. So let's do a quick rest, and then we will continue on. So well, as I said, it shouldn't be too difficult. We've only got yeah, it's yeah. We're basically more or less right next to the actual world boss of this area. So we are. As says, I'm not going to be spending much time going up and around scrounging for as much as I can, because that's just going to add an unnecessary amount of bloat to the video. So it is, and I do like to be able to show as much as I can whenever I'm playing, but whenever you're adding that much bloat to the video, then really what's the point? I knew you were going to spot me. The thing is we do need to focus a little bit more in on our reload speed. Now, I do intend on swapping build off of this one, because as says, I've demonstrated well past enough. I've been using the Chicago typewriter since I got it, part 1, and I've been using it since, and the weapon completely minced the Undying King. That's all I need to say, considering he has one of these thickest health pools, apart from the DLC shit. Once you add DLC into it, then the DLC guys get the thickest health pools. So he goes. So yeah, just taking all that into account. I am on Matrix mode today. Right. Well, I think that might just be a big roundabout from the looks of it. So, screw it, we're going for the boss. So we're going for the boss. Actually, just now to think about it, we actually got one. I actually preferred I actually preferred that boss to the other boss, funnily enough, to the other. There's 2 other bosses. Question is though, do we go upgrade now and then come back? The grotto, yeah. So, I'm nearly sure this is. Don't tell me it yeets me straight into the mini boss, does it? No, it actually does yeet me right into the boss. Okay, scratch that. We're going back. We've got 4 minutes. Let's give this a whirl, shall we? This, however, in my opinion, would be considered the most difficult boss in the game. Just leave it to an insect to be the most dangerous boss in the game. And that's why. It's not just one of them you're fighting two of them. And if they get that attack off, you die. Oh well, there's only, yeah. Sorry, I made this look so much easier than it actually was, guys. It's a good thing that I actually am going to be switching builds after this, because I'm sorry, but the DPS build just wins. I made that look way too easy, guys. I am actually really sorry. Yeah. That, no. I'm going to say sorry, because I made that look way too easy. That is normally a run like that. There's normally a boss that you have to completely spec into to come. Like, see, if you're doing a survival run against that boss, what you are doing is you are legitimately building yourself around beating that boss. I mean, like, hang on, right? So remove the fact that we just got Executioner, which is crit chance. Whenever you're fighting that boss, you're kitting fully into Barkskin, Spirit, Exploiter, Quick Hands, Mother's Blessing, you know what I mean? And Vigor as well. Like, you're specking wholeheartedly into that stuff, because you're not, like, that boss is not an easy boss. And the fact that I just winged it just made it so much worse, so it did. Right. On the other hand, let's go back to the Queen and give her the heart so I can get my reward. Right. You're going to give me my new armor so I can get a new setup going. So I think you also give me a weapon as well, which I'm not, oddly enough, not going to be get as Slayer set, as well as the crossbow. That is what I want. So it is. After that, there you still don't give me anything that is actually important. So you don't. Right. So, and the reason why. So the Slayer set is the polar opposite to this set that we're using. The Slayer set does this. Reloading increases the total damage dealt to the next enemy hit with that weapon. Last 10 seconds. Reload speed is increased by 10%, and you can get a 30% damage increase on a single shot. So, yes, funnily enough, this is the armor set that we are going to be switching to, because I'm going to be showing you something very nice. On the other hand, though, we don't really have much in terms to use for rings. We could go crit, or effective range could be nice. Keep that on for now. There's really no rings that we could really use, like, so that one there we could actually get rid of. We will apply thorns on. Gunslinger charm doesn't really help either, so we could go with even tank. Alright, we'll go even tankier, so we will, and I'll show you why in a second. So we're going to be switching builds. Obviously, you've seen this coming, considering the power output that I just displayed. Whenever we were talking about this earlier, remember I said that there's two specific setups that you would run. This is one of them, right? So that, obviously you've seen me use the DPS setup. Now we're going to switch over to this single shot setup. So we are. So there's this here. Unleash 12 quill in rapid burst. Corrosion damage within 2.5 meters. Overcharged quills by shooting an enemy with quills attached until they glow, then detonate increased damage. Okay, I've screwed that up. Is this bad boy right here, the almighty Devastator. This thing right here is absolute overkill. And this is what we're switching to. Like, look at that. It is firing 5 knives in a shotgun. This is basically a crossbow shotgun, so it is. Right? Now it's time to upgrade. And we're going to get stuck straight into the weapon. We've got no hardened iron, but we're upgraded. Right, next to that there, armor. We're going to upgrade our Slayer armor. Uh-huh. I've got exactly enough.
So long.
Now, this is where the power output comes in. Excuse me, I wasn't
So
talking to
long.
you. Piss off. This is where sheer power comes from now. This is immediate overkill. Now, on top of that, there you also have the skewer, which fires a large spike that deals 300 damage, dealing 300% stagger damage, and applies bleeding effect, dealing 1,440 over 20 seconds. Just let that sink in. So, actually, do we have a ring? Does this affect reload speed? No, it does not. That's a pain. If we had something that affected if we had a ring that affected reload speed, I would have happily taken it. Actually, we're going to go with evasion. Twisted, we don't really have a decent necklace, so we don't. So yeah, our next area is Yesha. So it is if we'll head to the labyrinth and we'll get Yesha, and I'll talk my way through what I want to do next. So this time I hope it's the right gate. Oof. This one here. Oh yes. And now we have that there. What we can do is switch over to the hunting pistol and stick grenade launcher on that, which just adds to the pain. To Yesha. So this is just your standard jungle area, so it is. But I want to just demonstrate the raw power of this crossbow real quick, so I do.
A jungle?
We will be doing this area later on. It's just I want to demonstrate this here uncharacteristic. Like that, it's the pure unnecessary devastation that this weapon here is just pure power. And there's why we're going to focus primarily on reload speeds. We're literally reload shoot, reload shoot, reload shoot. Speaking of that, let's just upgrade our traits before we go. And Spirit Tin, make sure that we can get our skewer online as well. So guys, we're going to go through this area next. And then depending on how fast we clean up this area, also depends on how fast we go and fight the theoretical final boss of the game. So guys, I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. And guys, I'm away into adventure mode to see if I can find a ring that is actually going to be usable on this build. Guys, hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm repeating myself now. Guys, see you all in the next one. Bye!